I've never had an eagle.
Heck, I've never had a birdie.
I would not recognize Jesper Parnevik.
I've never played a round of golf.
But I support the first tee.
It's teaching my daughter important values.
It gets them off the couch.
He's more patient, focused.
Self-confident.
He's just a happier kid.
At the First Tee, we teach kids important values they can take with them from the golf course to their communities and to the rest of their lives.
I didn't know a little golf ball could make such a big difference.
Here in front of the clubhouse at the granddaddy of Myrtle Beach, Michael Abraham is going to show us some Southern hospitality and bring us around the newly renovated course at Pine Lake.
We are actually the oldest golf course in Myrtle Beach, built in 1927 as part of the Ocean Forest Hotel. The hotel shut down several years later, but the golf course remained open. And the Granddaddy is our nickname because we're the oldest and the grandest on the beach.
The long-established Pine Lakes Country Club appears youthful because the club recently went through some major changes.
We shut down in 2006 and reopened in 2009. We redid the entire golf course. We flip-flopped the nines and put a whole new grass down. It's called a Sea Dwarf Paspalum. So that's from tee to green with the new grass. And we built two new holes. Holes number 4 and number 5 are brand new. And we took out the old 17 and 18. Craig Schreiner was the redesigner, and he put in his own little flair and touch on the front side, and he made sure that the back side still had a lot of the touches and main theories behind Robert White's original design from 1927.
The course at Pine Lakes was redesigned not to frustrate a player, but to provide the best possible experience.
We don't challenge the golfer to the point where it's going to be a miserable time and you got you shaking your head. But it's still fun. The layout, we took a lot of trees out in the renovation, so it's a little bit more open. With the two new holes, they provide us some unique challenges. The 4th hole is a short little par 4 that you can drive the green, but there's a lot of hazards on the left that you could hit the ball into. The 5th hole is a brand new par 5. Same thing, it's a dogleg left that is risk reward. You can be aggressive off the tee and try and go for the green, or you can lay up and play it as a traditional 5-stroke hole.
Pine Lakes evolved from a 27-hole layout to today's 18-hole course that currently sits on the National Registry of Historic Places. Head pro Michael Abraham shows us around the newly renovated course.
So this is the first hole at Pine Lakes Country Club. 343 yards from the tips, so not the longest hole out there, but still pretty challenging. As you can see, we have a pretty narrow fairway, water down the left side and some trees over to the right, so not exactly the bomber's paradise. The best way to play this hole would be a strategically placed metal wood or fairway wood off the tee, probably leaving you anywhere from 120 to 40 yards in. Once you get up to the green, there's a big sand trap just in front of the green, one just to the left. The pin, we usually have it tucked behind that front bunker out there, so it's hard to get at if you're too far away. The green's very receptive, pretty big, so the best play for this is put it at the center of the green, 2 putts, get your par, and move on to the next one. This is the 9th hole at Pine Lakes Country Club, playing about 369 yards from the tips. As you can see, again, another narrow hole. Out to the right, you got some trees. The best shot for this would be a little draw, aiming at the trees and let it come in, but you don't want to overdo it because you got some water that comes in on the left side. Good drive out there will probably put you in around 110 yards, have a wedge into the green. Open green with the bunkers to the left and to the right. Again, the best position on the green is in the middle. From that point, you'll have anywhere from a 20 to 25 foot putt, a little 2 putt to move on to the next hole. All right, this is a greenside view looking back down through the tee box on the 14th hole at Pine Lakes Country Club. In the background, you can see the golf shop and part of the clubhouse. 438 yards away is the number 4 tees. Coming back down the fairway, you have a pretty narrow drive. We got out of bounds on the left and tree lined on the right-hand side. As the ball comes down, you'll see that there is a pond located in front of the green that separates the fairway from the green. Not reachable off the tee from the drive. However, it may come into place if you leave yourself a little bit of distance coming back, that pond does extend pretty close to the green. So you have to cross over the pond, up the hill, to somewhat of a narrow green that's surrounded by a bunker on the left and another trap on the right-hand side. Making a 4 is an exceptional score in this hole. Bogey's okay. Move on to the next one. The new backside, which was the old front, is rerouted. Again, that provides golfers with a nice layout and a change of pace. A lot of guests that come here really like the renovations that we have done to Pine Lakes. It's more user-friendly. The golf course itself is great layout. It's fun. A lot of variety in the holes. You'll never see any two holes that are similar to one another. Every hole presents a new challenge, and it makes you feel like you're on a different course every single time.
The improvements at Pine Lakes didn't change any of its southern charm, especially that of the symbolic clubhouse.
We did keep the original clubhouse. What we did with the renovations is we added on. The original clubhouse is actually part of the National Historical Registry, so we weren't allowed to touch that, or nor would we want to. It's so beautiful. We're actually one of the premier sites in South Carolina to have weddings and banquets and all sorts of events. So what we did with the renovations is we added on to that clubhouse. And we have a whole new grill room. We named it after the original designer, Robert White. We have a brand new golf shop, and a new entrance off of the Robert Grissom Parkway is brand new as well. We call that Granddaddy Drive.
But Granddaddy Drive does lead to a few changes that you should expect if you've played here before.
Well, some of our guests that have come before the renovations, they may remember the Rolls-Royce golf cars, the mimosas that we would serve, and Perry, Big Dog, he would serve the clam chowder out on the old number 7 hole. Unfortunately, Big Dog's moved on. He's doing something else these days, but we still do the clam chowder inside, right in the Robert White pub. The mimosa has gone away, but our staff, we're still dressed as they did back in the day. Our starters, they've shed the kilts for some knickers and argyle socks. The outside guys wear the knickers and driver caps, and inside the golf shop we have blazers and ties, and make sure that we try and do everything we can to make you feel right at home in the South.
So don't count on any starters and kilts, but do expect to be greeted with the warm and friendly presence of the Pine Lake staff.
Well, of course, we always got to welcome with a big smile and say, welcome to the Granddaddy. It gives us a chance to explain why we are the Granddaddy, and we make sure we tell each guest how deeply rooted we are in history and tradition here at Pine Lakes. We tell them just to have a great time, and we make sure that we live up to our expectations of Southern hospitality, and just wish them a great day, and if there's anything we can do to make them happy, we'll be more than happy to do so.
Coming up, should the rules of the game be the same for amateurs and pros? Our teed-off panel tells you what they think. That's next on Inside Golf.
I'm 9 now, but when I was 8, I'd do things I wasn't supposed to.
You don't talk when people are putting.
Always repair the ball mark.
You keep your own score, so you have to know how to add. And you gotta tell the truth.
Put a golf club in kids' hands and watch them grow.
If you do certain things that you're not supposed to, you get a shot added to your score. You don't want to do those things.
The first tee teaches kids values that will impact their communities and the rest of their lives.
If it wasn't for golf, I'd be like my friends, a couch potato.
I like to think the Yuengling Beer Company has established a name for itself after over 180 years. In 1987, we introduced a flavorful amber lager. I hoped it would appeal to a new generation of customers who wanted a quality beer with taste and character. Ask for a lager, and you'll get a Yuengling. The Yuengling name didn't make us a success. Our quality products, our employees, and our customers did.